Any brave volunteers? Canva, you are one of my first people on this call tonight. Do you think that you can help me with some of my answers?
No, ma'am.
No. Oh my goodness. Okay, how about this? How about instead? Okay, I'm not finished picking on you, Canva, just so you know. How about this? I'm gonna help you guys out a little bit. I'm gonna tell you that if I have, oh, sorry, I seem to have made this very big all of a sudden. Okay, if I have, let's say x minus 1 and x plus 2, and that's equal to 0, I know that x minus 1 is equal to 0 or x plus 2 is equal to 0. So if I move that 1 over, x would be equal to 1. And if I move that 2 over, x would be equal to negative 2. Okay, so that's my help. With this help, do I now have someone who feels brave enough to give me an answer for 1?
Hi, ma'am. I'm sorry I'm late.
It's okay. Canva, do you feel like you could give me one of the answers? So I'm telling you that there's going to be 3 answers for x. Do you think you can tell me one?
I only got 2 answers for x.
Okay, so tell me one of those 2 answers. Okay, I'm hearing a negative 9. Beautiful. That sorts out that one.
And a positive 4.
And a positive 4. Good. That sorts out that one. And 0. Nice. Good job, guys. Well done. So negative 9, positive 4, and 0. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, in question 2, we first have to factorize before we can do anything else. So we are going to take out a highest common factor, and then we are going to say what x is going to be equal to. So what is going to be our highest common factor with x squared and 5x? What can I take out of both of those terms?
X.
Yes, I can take out x, and I'm going to be left with x minus 5 equals 0. And so I'm going to get 2 answers for x, this one. So x is equal to 0, or this one. So x minus 5 is equal to 0, which means x would be 5. Okay. Cool. Last one. Number 3. This 2, we can kind of forget about it, because if I divide that side by 2 and I divide that side by 2, those go away, and 0 divided by 2 is just 0. So I land up with x squared minus 16 is equal to 0. And this is a special kind of factorization, which we did a while ago, which was called difference of 2 squares, or dots. Do I have a volunteer where I can go to from there? I can help a little bit and tell you that I'm going to have 2 brackets. I'm going to have a plus and a minus. Let's see if that helps.
Ma'am, may I try?
I would love it if you tried.
Yeah. So for the thing, for the number 3, we're gonna use dots.
Good.
Yes, ma'am. So we need to find the highest common the highest common factor for 16, I think, which is 4.
Okay, good. So that's going to be a 4 there and a 4 there. What's going to be at the front of both of those brackets?
X, ma'am.
Yay, well done. Okay, so if those are my 2 brackets, then what are my 2 answers for x?
Plus 4 and minus 4.
Good. Well done. Nice job. Okay, so this is just kind of summarizing where we ended off on Monday. And today we're going to be adding on to this. So we're going to be working from this, but we're going to be doing a little bit more. So before we add anything more, I want us to just quickly remember a few things about factorization. Okay, so when we factorize, the first thing we do is we look for a highest common factor. So an example of that is if I have 2x squared plus x, I would take out a highest common factor of x and I'd be left with 2x plus 1. Okay, so that's a highest common factor situation. The second thing we're going to look for is if there are two terms, we're going to say, could it be difference of two squares? Now let's just go through what those letters mean again. Difference means that there's a minus sign, like that minus sign. Of two, so this is meaning that there are two terms, and square, meaning that they are both square numbers. So x squared and 16, both are square numbers. Okay, so an example of that is like one we've just done. X squared minus 16 would be x plus 4, x minus 4. And then the other thing that we have to keep our eye open for is if there are three terms, can we do a trinomial? And a trinomial is when we work with those factors of the constant. So if I had x squared plus 7x plus 12, I'm going to work with my factor pairs of 12. So 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. I can see I can get 7 with this factor pair. So I will have x plus 3, x plus 4. Okay, so these are just a very, very, very quick summary of the factorization that we did in our last lesson session. Okay, so we did that last term before the holiday. Now we need to try and use all of those in the next questions that we're going to start dealing with. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. The very first thing I have to look for is, can I take out a highest common factor? That's the first thing I have to do. So if I'm looking at this question, is there a number that can go into both 3x squared and into 27?
3.
Yes.
Nice job, guys. 3. Good, good. Okay, so 3 can go into both, which means I can take out a highest common factor of 3. So I'm going to take my 3 out, and I'm going to be left with x squared minus 9. Okay. Now I've got two terms in that bracket. Is it a dots situation? Can I do dots? Is there a different sign? Yes. Are there two terms? Yes. Are they both square numbers? Yes. So I can definitely do dots. I can have 3, x plus 3, x minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, so that's our next step. Now I've factorized fully. I can't factorize anymore. So now I can just find my values for x. This 3, we can just ignore it, because if we divide both sides by 3, it just becomes 0 on the right-hand side. Okay, because 0 divided by 3 is just 0. So the 3 goes away. So I'm just left with x plus 3 is equal to 0, or x minus 3 is equal to 0. So x equals -3 or x equals 3. And that is our whole answer to that type of question. And it's worth a lot of marks, guys, because you're going to get a mark here for factorizing. You're going to get a mark again for doing difference of two squares. And then you're going to get a mark for each of your answers. So such a short thing, is it lands up being 4 marks, which is a lot of marks. Okay, let's have a look at this one. I'm not going to, I want you guys to kind of work through this one a bit by yourselves. I just want to give you one hint. As soon as we see an x squared, we need to think, okay, this is a quadratic equation, which means we need to move everything to one side, and we need to make it equal to 0. Okay, so I would like you to all give this question a try. And if someone feels happy with their answer, you can write your name in the comments, and I will call on you when we're ready to go through it, and we can see how that goes. So give it a try. I'll give you a couple of minutes.
Ma'am, could you please go a bit up? I wasn't finished writing that equation.
Is that enough? Okay. Okay, so just remember, if you're happy with your answer, you can put your name in the comments for me. Or if you're nervous to talk, you can just put your answer in the comments. I'm fine with all of that, whichever one you prefer. Okay, we have a 5 and a -5 as one of our answers. I personally think that's a great answer, so I'm quite happy with it. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so our first step is we want to move everything to one side and we want to make it equal to 0. So 2x squared minus 50 is equal to 0. That's our first step, okay? And we always want to do that in a quadratic equation. Second step, we want to factorize. Thank you, Simpiwe. Good answers coming through. We want to factorize, and when we factorize, the first thing we look for is there a highest common factor? And in here, our highest common factor is 2. Okay, we can ignore that 2 because it would be divided by 0, so it goes away. And so we're left with x squared minus 25. Next step, there are 2 terms. Can I do dots? Difference? Yes. 2 terms? Yes. Both square numbers? Yes. So I can do dots. So I'm going to have x plus 5, x minus 5 is equal to 0. And so my 2 brackets become x plus 5 is equal to 0. Or x minus 5 is equal to 0. And so when that 5 moves over, it would be x is -5 or x is 5. And those are our 2 answers. Well done for those of you who got it. Nice job. Okay, we're going to do a quick check-in at this point. So I want you to all find the comment section, and I just want you to give me an idea. Remember, 0 means I have no idea what's going on. I am so lost. You're basically talking another language to me. And 10 is I have a really good idea what's going on. Can you just give me a number in the chat on where we're feeling at the moment? Okay. Keep them coming in, guys. So find your chat. Give me an idea. Oh, that's a beautiful number, Daphne. All right. Okay, cool. Oh, 100. Beautiful. Cool. Okay. So let's try another one. This is now very similar to what we've been doing. So I want you all to give this one a try and see how this one goes. So those of you who are sitting on a 5, I'm hoping that this goes well and we can get that 5 up to a 6. Maybe by the end of this lesson, we can get that 5 up to an 8. Let's see. So just follow your steps. Highest common factor. Can I do something else with factorizing? And then find your values for x. It's a few ways. Okay. Sia, can you please talk us through this answer?
With a pleasure, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, is it okay if I give you the answer or just talk through it?
What I first just tell me what each line is, because I first need you to take out the highest common factor for me. So you can just tell me what the
Okay.
next line would look like.
Okay, ma'am. So first, the highest common factor in the sum was 4.
Beautiful. Okay. So what am I going to be left with in my bracket?
I'm going to be left with x squared minus 16.
Oh, so close.
I mean, yeah, is it minus 4?
Yes, because when I take that 4 and I multiply that 4, I need to get 16.
Oh, yeah. Let me just correct that right now.
Okay, no problem.
2. Okay, ma'am. And then
So then what is, yeah,
my next step, it's in the first bracket we write x plus 2,
good,
and then in the second one we write x minus 2.
good. So what are my two answers for x?
We're gonna write x plus 2 equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0, and then it's x equals 4. I mean x equals 2 or
X-
x equals 2. I mean
So x,
negative.
yeah, no, I understand. X equals -2 or x equals 2. Well done. Good job. Okay,
Okay.
nice job. Thank you, Sia. Okay, good. I hope that some of you were feeling a little bit better with that question as we're working through them. We are now going to make our way to our, or does anyone need me to sit here any longer? You can just type yes in the comments or just tell me yes if you do. Okay, so I'm taking the silence that I can move on. Oh, sorry. Yes, it's there. You know what, up here, I think I can fit both in. There we go. Okay. So what we're looking at in D is, first of all, we have an x squared, which means we know that it's a quadratic equation, which means we know we need to move everything to one side and make it equal to 0. And then we have 3 terms. And so that means we're dealing with a trinomial. Now, I know a lot of you really were very good at figuring out trinomials in our last lesson session last term. So I have faith that you're definitely going to be able to do this question. Can everyone please give it a try for me? So you need to move that 15 over, and then you need to factorize it as a trinomial, and then you need to give me my 2 answers for x. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to try. Okay, I'm going to start talking you through the first step, and then let's start seeing how this goes. I'm going to help you with this one because it's our first trinomial. Oh, we've got an answer from Gerald though. Let's see if you're right, Gerald. So we have x squared minus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0. Now, if you've done that, you give yourself a mark. That's a good step. It means you've put it in standard form, and that's exactly where we want you to start. So if you've done that, give yourself a pat on the back, congratulate yourself, well done, big clap for you. That's good, good step. Now we need to factorize. So we're going to work with our factor pairs of 15, 1 and 15, 3 and 5. So I can see I'm going to have to use 3 and 5, and negative 5 plus 3 is going to give me negative 2. So my brackets, I'm going to have x minus 5, and then I'm going to have x plus 3, and that's going to be equal to 0. So then I'm going to say, well, x minus 5 is 0, or x plus 3 is 0. And when it moves over, it changes sign. And so our answers for x, well done, Gerald, are x is 5 or x is negative 3. And that was your first trinomial quadratic equation. Well done. All right. Okay, I'm just going to scroll up a little bit so those who still need D have it there. E is another trinomial for you all to give a try. Give it a go. If you feel confident in talking through the answer or giving me your answers, you can write your name in the chat and I'll call on you. If you don't feel like talking, you can also just write your answers in the chat. All of those are fine. And if you have questions, something you're feeling confused about, just let me know. Remember to write out your factor pairs. They'll always help you in finding your answers. Just going to give you a bit of guidance here in case you're struggling. We haven't done trinomials in a long time. Okay. So those are our factor pairs for 24. Okay, so when we're looking at this question, oh, okay, so we've got some answers coming in. I'm seeing something. So when I have a look here, I can see that I'm going to need to use this pair in order to get a 5. And if I want negative 5, it's going to have to be negative 8 plus 3. So inside my brackets, I'm going to have x plus 3, x minus 8. And remember, those can be the other way around. So it can be x minus 8, x plus 3. That's fine. Okay. And then I'm going to say x plus 3 is equal to 0, which means x is negative 3, or x minus 8 is equal to 0, which means x would be equal to 8. So well done to my answers in the chat. Nice job. Okay. So we're just going to do one more. Now, this one's a little bit nastier. Remember your steps and you'll be fine. Okay, this one I kind of want you to take stock of how you're doing after this one. So remember, first of all, if it's quadratic, so if we have an x squared, which we have over there, we've got that 3x squared happening. So if we have an x squared, we want to move everything and make it equal to 0. That's the first thing you're going to do. Second thing, you're going to look for a highest common factor. Third thing, you're going to say, well, can I do dots? That's if there's 2 terms. Or can I do a trinomial? That's if there's 3 terms. Okay, those are the steps I want you to follow, and then you're going to find your values for x. Give this a go. Let's see who can get this one 100% right. Think of this one as like a mini test because it brings together everything we've done so far. Okay, I'm going to start writing up our first steps just in case anyone's made a mistake along the way. I don't want it to impact your final answer. I see we already have an answer coming in, which is great. The first thing we want to do is we want to move that 42 over. So we're going to have 3x squared minus 27x plus 42 is equal to 0. Okay, that's our first step. Our next step, so we've done number 1. Cool. Next step is we want to see, do we have a highest common factor? And in our case, our highest common factor is 3. So we're going to take 3 out. And I'd be left with x squared minus 9x plus 14, close brackets, is equal to 0. Cool. We've taken out highest common factor. Next step. Do we have 2 terms? No, we can't do dots. Do we have 3 terms? Yes. So maybe we can do a trinomial. So let's do our factor pair with 14. 1 and 14, 2 and 7. So I can see both of those need to be negatives for me to get -9. So now I have 3, x minus 2, x minus 7 is equal to 0. We've done our trinomial. The 3 can go away. We don't care about it. So we're left with x minus 2 is equal to 0, or x minus 7 is equal to 0. And as that 2 moves across, x is 2, or x is 7. Mistakes were made. That's okay. Mistakes are a good part of maths, believe it or not. That's the way that we learn. Okay. See here, the problem with the 6 is that if we have 6 and 7, we're not going to be able to get to 14. That's the only problem with those numbers.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, but I hope that this is making sense for those. Can you try and write this down if you did make mistakes so that you've got a copy of what it should look like? Those of you who got 2 and 7, well done. Give yourselves a big clap. I'm very proud of you. This was a hard sum. It would be worth a lot of marks. Let's go through where you would get marks. You'd get a mark for putting it all through onto one side, a mark for taking out your highest common factor. You get 2 marks there because you would have had to find 2 different factors, and probably a final mark for your answers. So you're looking at a good 5 glorious marks. So well done for those of you who got it right. For those of you who didn't, I'm proud that you made mistakes. Mistakes are how we learn. It's how we grow. Okay. Does anyone need me to sit on this question any longer? Just let me know. Just say yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure, no problem. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. Let's move through to G. Okay, so now G is, I am being a little bit nasty in G because it's an x cubed. Okay, and normally we don't give x cubes in grade 9 because we try and stick with quadratics, but I feel like you can do this question. So the first goal is to make sure everything's on one side and equal to 0, which it is. So that's done. Next, we want to see, is there a highest common factor? So I want you to see if there's a highest common factor. After that, we're going to see if we can factorize any further. If we can't, we just look for our answers for x. So I want everyone to give this question a go, even though it's an x cubed. Okay, so first goal here is look for your highest common factor. Second goal, can we factorize further? And then find your values for x. Okay, so I'm going to help you a little bit here because I was being nasty with a cubic, even though I'm going to be nasty in our next question as well. But it's because I'm going to help you here and then I'm not going to help you later. That's how I roll. Okay, so I'm going to take out a highest common factor of x squared because x squared can go to both of those. And I'm going to be left with x minus 3 is equal to 0. And so now I'm left with x squared is equal to 0 or x minus 3 is equal to 0. And if x squared equals 0, if I square root 0, I'm just going to get 0. So therefore, x is 0 or x is 3. Did anyone manage getting those two answers? Just let me know. You can put it in the chat. Oh, yay, well done. Awesome. Yay, look at all these yeses. Oh, it's okay, Kamba. It was a nasty question on my part. But unfortunately, I'm also going to give you another nasty question. The P where I really respect the capital letters. I feel like I can hear the sound behind it. Okay, let's have a look at H. For those of you who said no, I want you to sort of think about it as we move along here. Now in H, we're going to be doing the exact same things. So just try and follow as we go. The first thing we're looking for, let me just get a different color happening over here. The first thing we're looking for is our highest common factor. And I'm going to help you because this is a bit of a nasty question. My highest common factor here is X. That's my first step. Second step, you're going to see, okay, you have 3 terms. So can you do a trinomial? Okay, and then you're going to find your values for X. Let's see, those of you who said no, I'm really hoping I can change some of those no's to a yes in this question. I would love for you to give this question a go. Remember, just take it step by step. Look for your factor pairs. Find the ones that give you the right number. Put them into your brackets. Ooh, we have some answers. Okay, let's see how these go. So, first things first is we're going to take out our highest common factor. So, I'm going to take out my x. And I'm left with x squared minus x minus 12, and that's going to be equal to 0. Okay, so if you guys did that, you give yourselves a mark. That was your first step. Second step, we're going to look at our trinomial. So we're going to work with our factor pairs. So I've got 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. How could I get -1? I need this to be a -4. I need that to be a +3. So I'm going to have x minus 4, x plus 3 is equal to 0. That's a second step. You would get 2 marks in that step. Okay, so if you were marking this by yourselves, you get 1 mark for taking that out and then 1 mark for each of those brackets over there. All right, next step, we just get to say what all of our different x values is. So the first one is this guy over here. That's just x is equal to 0. Next step is this bracket, or x minus 4 is equal to 0. Move that 4 over, so x would be 4. Then our last bracket, x plus 3 is equal to 0. So x would be equal to -3. And we get 3 answers for x. So I see some of you were actually really great. You got some of the right numbers happening, and we have 100% right answer, which is awesome. We have some who've just left off a 0. And some who have sort of gotten the whole thing. Areshna, are you wanting to answer or do you have a question? Or were you just saying your name?
Hi, I was just saying my name. And actually I just wanted to take out a picture of my work to show you that I got it correct, but I can't anyways. I don't know how to take out a
no, but I'm so excited that you got it correct. That's amazing.
Yes, I did. Thank
Yay!
you.
Woo! See, yeah, I know it's hard, I know, but you guys are doing so well. It just takes time and it just takes practice. I promise it will get better over time. Just takes practice. Maths is all about practice. That's one of the cool things. I know. It's okay to get it wrong. It's okay. This is how we learn. This is how we learn. Okay. So I can just imagine you guys are looking at this question and you're already hating me. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do this one and then I'm going to move on to some exit questions. Okay, so I'm going to help you out with the first bit because I know you're looking at this and you're like, what are you doing to us? You hate us and it's a Wednesday. Don't be so mean. But it's actually not so bad. The first thing we're going to do is we're just going to do our normal distribution. Okay, so everyone should feel comfortable with distribution. We've been doing distribution a lot. And I want you to distribute those into both those brackets. And then I want you to wait. So I'm going to put the answer there just now. I'm just going to give you a minute to distribute and just make sure that we all are on the same page. Okay, so first step, distribute that in. So 2x squared minus 2x is equal to 6x minus 6. That's our first step. Next step. We have an x squared, which means it's quadratic, which means we need to move everything to one side and make it equal to 0. Okay, so 2x squared minus 2x minus 6x plus 6 is equal to 0. These two are like terms, so I can subtract them. So 2x squared minus 8x plus 6 is equal to 0. Now from here, I'm letting you go solo. You are going to find your highest common factor. Then you're going to see, can you do a trinomial? And then you're going to say what your values for x are going to be. Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Where did you get the 8?
So when I had -2 and then I subtracted another 6, that's how I got the -8.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so give this one a try, guys. See how it goes. Okay, I'm going to write out the second step so far. Let's see if anyone could get there. So my highest common factor is 2. So I have x squared minus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. So if we got that far, then we're doing real well. Okay, if you could take out your highest common factor, that's awesome. Then I'm going to factorize. So I'm going to have x minus 3, x minus 1. The 2 goes away, and so x is 3 or x is 1. Ta-da! How exciting. Okay, I know this has been a lot. What we're going to do is we're going to move down to, I think I wrote 3 questions for you guys. You got x is 3. Yeah, you did, which is good. Okay, and we're going to ignore that one for the moment. And we are going to do these 3 exit questions. And we're going to see how well we do out of the 3. So I want you to all try and give, if you're really struggling with these and they're taking you a long time, then choose one of them to do. If you're feeling good with them, do like 1 and 2. If you're feeling really good with them, do 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to give you about 3 to 4 minutes here to go through it, and then I'm going to start going through the answers. Okay, so give them a go. Let's see if anyone can get 3 out of 3. Oh, you know why it's so hard? Because we have to combine so many concepts. But I promise that the more we do it, the easier it's going to feel. I promise. Just remember your steps. Move on to one side, highest common factor. If there's 2 terms, can I do difference of 2 squares? If there are 3 terms, can I do a trinomial? Okay, I'm going to start going over just the first one, so that if you're making a mistake, I don't want it to filter all the way down to question 3. Okay, so just looking at question 1, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my highest common factor. So for question 1, I have x squared minus 3x is equal to 0. I'm going to take out my highest common factor of x. So x, and then in brackets, x minus 3 equals 0. So I'm going to get my 2 answers for x. This is my first one, x equals 0, or x minus 3 is 0, which means x is 3. Those are my 2 answers. Okay. Did we get question 1 right? How are we feeling with question 1? Yes, good. That is progress. Good. Okay. Nice, guys. Woo! Positive energy with question 1. I like it. Okay. Put all of your attention now onto question 2. Nice job, guys. Love the answers coming in. Oh, 1 million. Yes, well done. Trillion. Love it. Nice job, guys. Okay, keep them going. Okay, so we're focusing all our energy on question 2 at the moment. I'm going to give you 1 more minute and then I'm going to start going through question 2. Remember your steps. Move on to one side, equals to 0. Is it a dots? Is it a trinomial? Factorize, find x. Okay, we have an answer coming through. So Kumba's feeling confident. I have a sneaky feeling that your signs may be mixed around. Have a look at your signs, make sure you're happy with them. Okay, question 2. Y squared plus y equals 6. First step, move it over. You see your signs, good. Okay, move it over. Minus 6 equals 0. First mark. If you did that, awesome. Next step, we want to work with our factors of 6. 1 and 6, 2 and 3. So I can see I need to use this pair. I need a positive 1. So I need positive 3 minus 2. So I'm going to have y minus 2. And then, oh, sorry. Just y minus 2 and y plus 3. Here we go. Okay. And so now this is why the sign situation was what I was, oh no, your signs were beautiful. I was just losing my mind, guys. Okay. So now y minus 2 is equal to 0. So y would be 2. Or y plus 3 equals 0, which means y would be negative 3. I'm like making you question yourselves and you're doing it beautifully. Shocking. Well done, guys. Well done to everyone who had the right answers over there. Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, last one, question 3. You have 1 more minute to work on question 3. Let's see how it goes. Question 3. And then let's see if anyone can get 3 out of 3. Ooh, we've already got an answer coming in. I like it. All right, let's go. It's all on one side already, so we don't need to do that. Now we can work with our factor pairs for 10. So we've got 1 and 10 and 2 and 5. So to get negative 7, we need negative 5 and negative 2. So I'm going to have x minus 2, x minus 5 equals 0, which means x minus 2 is 0, or x minus 5 is 0. Move that guy over. So x is 2 or x is 5. Woohoo! Okay, let me know in the comments what we got out of 3 here. So like, or you don't even have to tell me what you got out of 3 if you don't feel comfortable. Just give me an idea of a score of 0 to 10, how you felt with these 3 questions if you don't want to say what you got out of 3. So if you like didn't enjoy them, you can just, great. Oh, I'm seeing awesome numbers here, guys. Nice job. Awesome. Okay. Yay. So I'm hoping that these high scores are meaning that we're feeling a little bit more confident with these questions, which would be good, which would be very good. Yay. Nice job. Okay. Okay, those of you who are still struggling, don't worry. We've still got more sessions to work through things together. We've still got next week. Awesome. All right, guys. So on that note, I am going to be stopping the maths for you. And I'm going to be passing on to Tula so that he can end off the session with you. But it's been lovely working with you tonight, and well done for coming and being here and putting in your best efforts and contributing. I'm so proud of you and I'm loving teaching you. Okay, on to Tula.
Hey everyone, thanks for all that, Miss G. We can just, if you want, just clap your hands just for Miss G. So we say thank you for the wonderful lesson. I don't have much to go over today, so I'm not going to take up too much time because we don't have the leaderboard. We have that only on Mondays. So I just want to remind everyone that this is how far we've come on our series for these equation lessons, and we only have 2 more. So we have one on the 9th and one on the 11th, and we'll be covering exponential equations and then mixed equations. So make sure you pull through for those. And of course, this is not just everything that we'll be doing. We'll still have many more lessons about many other topics, I think until towards the end of September, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'm still working on compiling just the full list and then having on one of the, hopefully on the next session, I keep saying on the next one, but hopefully actually on the next session, just having all of these on the screen so you guys can take them or screenshot and just have them for yourself as well. And yeah, just also to remember that prepare for the to prepare for these lessons, you have the Watobi app. You know, that is also very useful because you only come here 2 times a week, and you know, you need to be practicing between that, and you need to make sure you actually understand this, because it's easy to, you know, to think you understand when you're in a class, but then you need to practice all these things. So make sure that you go to the Watobi app. I think everyone who's here you guys have been here, so you know the process. Go to algebraic equations, and then under quadratic equations, you'll find complex quadratic equations exam practice, and then just do the activities there, and then just make sure you do as much as you can. Even if it's difficult initially, you are bound to get better at some point with practice. So I'll see you guys. We'll see you guys the next time. If Miss G doesn't have anything else to add, I think that's it for our lesson today. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Bye.
Everyone. Bye.